cannot go around me or through me to get to my father law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Now be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun's in sight, katana swore be my call. I fast to meditate upon and like we're hard. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
You cannot go around me or through me to get to my father law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Now be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun's in sight, katana swore be my call. I fast to meditate upon and like we're hard. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
You cannot go around me or through me to get to my father law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment.
You cannot go around me or through me to get to my father law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Now be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun's in sight, katana swore be my call. I fast to meditate upon and like we're hard. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
You cannot go around me or through me to get to my father law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Now be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun's in sight, katana swore be my call. I fast to meditate upon and like we're hard. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
Damn. We in the building, we up in the building. Peace, everybody, what's happening? Man, I will, everybody is feeling good and feeling fine, man. Welcome to the God and Earth Hour podcast,
Peace.
Man. Y'all know how we do, man. Peace.
Peace, peace. Peace to all of God. Peace to all lives.
Peace. Man, I will, y'all feeling good and feeling fine, man. It's good to be in the building. It's good to see everybody, man. I hope everybody that's with us is in a sound mind and a sound body, man. Thank you for tuning in and coming in, man, to another episode with the gods. The God and Earth Hour podcast, man. Peace. Y'all know what it is. Welcome, welcome. This is another episode, and me and my man IC, we back in the building. We
Peace.
coming all the way live. Y'all excuse us. You know, we know we coming in a few minutes late, but we was having a little technical difficulties. We had to get them all lined up and all right and tight, man. So we here, we with y'all. And it's always a pleasure. If this your first time tuning in with us, man, I come in the name of Minister Freedom Allah. I'm one of the great guys from here in D Mecca, man. I'm one of your hosts, man, for the 5% Connection and the God on Earth Hour. I got my main man, my man IC, man. I'm going to let the guy introduce himself. Come on up, God.
I be the God that you know as I see. You know, I humbly come to you from the city of D Mecca. That's what we call Detroit, Michigan. I want to welcome everybody. You know, get ready for a good show, good information. Get ready, drop what we can on y'all tonight. And I want everybody just, strap on, you know what I'm saying, buckle up and get ready for a good show tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride.
Word up. Word up. Peace to the God.
Peace
to the God. That's what I like to hear, and that's what I love. That's what I love and like, man. So, again, man, welcome, man. So tonight's episode, man, what we going through? We're going through the science of a cipher in the history of math, man. Okay, so this is a nice little topic. Just me and the God tonight, but we plan to share some great information.
Just
man.
Me and the God. That's a great combination.
That's absolutely. This is
just
super
me
duper.
And the God.
Well, I know we always be having guests, man.
Yo. I'm just saying,
looking for the guests and shit.
Yo, the greatest guest is me and yourself.
I'm telling you.
You know
Word.
Let's do it. To the people, you know what I'm saying? Hot off the press. Word is bomb.
Word. No, I'm with you on that.
5% connection. You know, it's a lot of you know what I'm saying, fakers, you know what I'm saying, and individuals out there, you know what I'm saying, trying to make sure that they, copy what we do and do what we do the way we do it, but ain't nobody gonna connect you like the 5% connection. That's what I'm saying.
Word. No, that's definitely the truth, man, and I appreciate that, God. That's what we're here to do. You know, for anybody who don't know, if you're not in tune already, or if this is your first time tuning in with us, our purpose and our goal here is to help individuals get connected with the knowledge of self. Meaning, if you hear looking for the culture and looking for the teachings, we want to help you get connected to them. We want to help you connect with the gods and earths that's near you, that's in your area, that's in your place, that's in your zip code, your respective place in the world, man. And we want to get you together. You know what I'm saying? We know that there's a lot of people out there who are interested in the knowledge of self and the teachings of the 5%ers, the teachings of the Father, and the teachings of the gods and the earth. So we want to help you and make sure that you can get with them and get with them right and exact, man, and get connected with the gods. Because this is only something that can be taught walking and talking, man, right? You can't just get it, off the internet. We can't email it to you. Emmanuel Diaz, that's your question on Facebook, man. How can I get my lessons, my 120? I haven't built in years, so I'm trying to get back to my culture and memorize my lessons. The 12 Jews, alphabets, mathematics, solar facts. So I'm definitely not writing exact. Any positive message will be peace. Emmanuel Diaz, man, what I would advise you and what I would say, man, is to get in tune with the gods closest to you.
Okay? And if you're not in tune with them, if you have a problem getting in tune with them, that's the purpose of us, God.
Right.
The connection.
Word.
Where you at? You know what I'm saying? What city and state, you know what I'm saying? And, maybe we can guide you in that direction. You know what I'm saying?
As well as what I would say, Emmanuel Diaz, man, on Facebook, one of the easiest ways that we can make it happen, man, if you hit the link that's on our video, man, if you go to the 5percentconnection.com, it'll shoot us your info, and we'll be able to connect you with the gods and the earth right away. So it's a little faster that way. So I mean, if you can, it'd be super dope, man. Hit the link in our bio, put your info in, and we'll connect you with the gods, man, in no time and no problem, and as expeditiously as we can, depending on where you at. So, gotta know we want to hop into the subject, man, and get the building on this topic that we got going on. So what comes to mind when you think the history of math, God? I wonder that. That's one thing I wanted to ask you and see how you wanted to dig into this.
Peace. Well, when I think about the history of math, one of the first things I think about is what we were taught in schools. And I reminisce and I think about the number line. that we were given in school. And you know, on the number line that I remember when I was in elementary school, in what we call a parochial school, I remember it being 1, 2, 3, and then it being the A, B, C, and it was a line of these things at the front of the room, at the top of the chalkboard. You know, and A was for apple, B was for ball, C was for C. You know what I'm saying? He had 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying, 9, then a 0. So this is my memory of remembering and knowing how to identify the mathematics in the alphabets. And then when I got knowledge of self, and I realized that I was receiving the mathematics and alphabets all over again. However, it was in a supreme fashion, and I realized the purpose of why we got them the way we got them when we were younger, in contrast to the purpose of why I got them when I was older. So no longer did I look at A as apple, B as ball, and C as cat, and D as dog. I saw that A was a law, B is be born, C is C, and D is divine.
True indeed.
You know, I realized what the meaning of emptying your cup. When you get knowledge of self, you have to empty your cup. In the Christian form of things, it says that in order for one to experience the kingdom of heaven, you have to come as a child. And what it means to come as a child means that you have to empty your cup. You have to release all of the things that it is that you think or thought that you have learned up to this point. And when you come into the process of gaining knowledge of self or receiving the man's key to understanding his relationship to the universe, which is what we say, that's supreme mathematics.
True indeed.
Supreme mathematics is man's key to understanding his relationship to the universe. So when you get these things, and you get knowledge of self, and you get a clear understanding of what's going on, I mean, it's like it's an awakening. It's an awakening, you know, and this is what it was when I received knowledge of self, when I got to mathematics, you know, because I began to see things clear, and I understood what it means that you can't do anything on this planet, in this universe, without knowing how to do it. And that was one of the most simpler ways that it came to me as an understanding that knowledge was first. And all of the other mathematics and everything following that, it came as a natural progression. And I was able to see it in the natural form and fashion that it preceded one another after the other. You know, so that's what I think about when I think about the supreme mathematics and how I receive mathematics and knowledge of self.
Well,
you know?
as well as God, and really where I know we was going, and not only just supreme mathematics, but the history of math as a science and as a study. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, math as a whole and just the science of it, like, you know, and I've heard you built on it a lot, you know, the science of the individual numbers. That even in learning supreme mathematics, that one of the greatest things that we learned even in studying was, okay, it's a science to the letter 1, to the number 1, to the character 1. That it's a history and a development that go from, you know, how we got, where it's derived of the system of 1 to 9. Or what we interpret as mathematics, or along the lines of arithmetic. Because, I mean, of course, that's not supreme mathematics.
Well, we know that everything in mathematics, and I remember what it is that you're speaking on.
Go ahead.
And one of the things that we learned, that we taught, that we learned in that science was that all things that come into existence, they have to have something in correspondence with one another. And the thing that we were speaking about when we talk about mathematics is you have to have form, sound, and shape. I mean, form, sound, which was the other? Form, sound, and because shape and form is one.
Was it
the
like
same.
principle?
No, yeah, form, sound, and number.
And number. Peace, God.
Form, sound, and number. All things have to have those characteristics in order to exist.
Ooh. Not to be a number, but just to exist.
To exist.
Mm.
I mean, but everything in existence has its existence founded in numbers.
Mm.
Mathematics is the foundation of everything in existence.
Now that was heavy, God. You said that all things that exist have their foundation in numbers.
Exactly, God.
How so? When you go, 'cause I know that might be a heavy one for everybody to pick up when you say all things have their form in numbers.
Just think about anything that you could think of. In order for you to say anything, the first thing you have to think of when you say anything is a number of things. So which is first? Okay. When we talk about things, then we say, what is the basic makeup of anything in the universe? That's an atom.
A thing. Before you can have any, you gotta have a.
A thing. And that first thing is the atom. And that's the basic foundation and the constructs of everything that exists. Then when you learn about the basic fundamental principles of an atom, you learn about a proton, an electron, and a neutron. Then when you learn about these things, you learn about that there's a principle related to these things when you talk about masculine and feminine, or these different elements, because they are different elements when we talk about, breaking down the constructs of the universe. But however, I don't want to get outside, I don't want to go too deep,
deep.
But however, yeah. So when we talk about 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we learn that these are mathematic principles, and these principles have a meaning to them. And when we get our supreme mathematics and we learn about what we call 1, and everyone knows that 1 is identified like this: the single principle in the universe, which everything was started with. And you can say that's you, that's yourself. Everything started with you, because without you, what would it be? Nothing.
Nothing.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how we go into the other portion of what it is we're speaking about, which is the history of a cipher.
Ooh, Bill, God.
And when we talk about the history of a cipher, we think about the fact that, we were raised in the western portion of the hemisphere. And so, we learned about what we call Arabic numerals. And me and the guy was just speaking about this earlier. And we call them Arabic numerals, but the Arabs learned these numerals from the what's called the far eastern part of the world, which is India. And in India, these numerals were called Sanskrit. And we know that when Islam had expanded itself out into the furthest reaches of the planet that it could, anywhere it went, it adopted and it absorbed the academics and the knowledge wherever it went. And a lot of times, it claimed this knowledge as its own. So here in the western part of the world, we call the Sanskrit numerals, as they're rightfully called, Arabic numerals. Because the Arabs introduced it or reintroduced it into the Western world in what we call today Spain. And when the Moors conquered Spain, and the Moors were influenced by the Arab culture at that particular time, and the Moors were the ones that introduced the cipher back into European culture, because before that you had what you call Roman numerals. And Roman numerals, you didn't have a concept of a cipher. You had X, and the X was 10. So once you got, you got 1, 2, 3. And once you got 3, you got 1 and the V represented 5, and it depends on what side of the V that the I was on that made it 4 or 5 or 6. And then once you got past that, once you got the V plus 4, you got 10, which was X. So there wasn't a concept of a 0. In fact, when you had the introduction of a cipher into the introduction of European society, they thought it was something that was witchcraft because they couldn't understand how that you could have something that represented nothing. How could you have something that represented nothing? It was a conundrum. But they didn't have a science or understanding of mathematics.
Right. And I think, I can't remember who it was that broke it down, but I think one of the biggest aspects, you got to understand that I think our people, that these people that we're referring to, they understood history as something that, not only history, but time was something that's a cycle versus something that's a straight line.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And those are the different concepts and constructs of time.
Right.
That we have, we call one is linear and one is circular.
True.
And the Europeans tend to deal with things upon the thought of a linear timeline. You know, that's why they call it a timeline. But the original man dealt with time and thought with time in constructs of a cipher. Because we renewed it every time it reached a certain point of the cipher. And that cipher was always determined upon which plane or ground that you were on. Because we didn't have a flat earth.
Ain't no such thing as a flat earth.
It was based on a cipher.
Right, absolutely.
And the circumference of the planet. You know what I'm saying? And the original man, the wise man of the East, based his history on circumference.
To equal his own circumference.
Exactly, God.
True indeed. Because we, like you said, we've been knew the shape of the planet. Can derive that everything was moving in a circular fashion based off of how the sun portrayed itself, how the moon portrayed itself, how how not only that, but how the planet Earth responds in correlation to other planets.
No doubt.
You know
All the
what
other
I'm
shit
saying?
is some clown shit.
No doubt. True indeed. But like when you just ain't going through in terms of math. So we was just kind of making the point that when you study the mathematical sciences of India and Sanskrit and these what they would call these so-called Mesopotamian cultures.
These things give you the origin of our mathematics that we call today. You know what I'm saying, which is Arabic numerals.
Right.
And my point of just saying that is that, we have to understand where these things come from and how these things take shape and take form and come into existence as we call them today. We call them Arabic numerals, but in order for you to get the pristine understanding of those things, you have to go back into the origin of them. And so with that, that's why I give you the knowledge of the Sanskrit, of the Arabic numerals, and the history of the cipher being introduced into, European cultures. Another thing that the Moorish people that was in Spain at that particular time, which was, they civilized Europe from the year 711 until the year 1492, which was they was exposed in 1492 and they came in 711, which means they ruled Europe for 700 years. Now, let me just stop and try to get everybody to understand something right here. Imagine, America is how old?
A couple hundred years.
A couple hundred years? No, sorry. More like 400 or 500 years.
True.
This is America. America is a European country. And we know America as it is from the last 400 to 500 years. And look at how the white man has ingrained himself into the fabric of everything in this portion of the world in 400 or 500 years, right? Now, when we talk about the Moors in Spain, we're talking about the black man in Europe for 700 years. from 7/11 to 1492.
Right.
If you think the white man has ingrained himself into the fabric and the culture of America, of the Americas, imagine what the black man did in 700 years in Europe. And how we ingrained ourselves into the fabric of that society. Don't get it twisted, because a lot of individuals look at it, when we say Moors, they think about the Moors or the Moorish Science Temple of America or the Moors in America. When I'm talking about the Moors, we're talking about original man, black people in the Western Hemisphere, in the earliest parts of the black man being in the Western Hemisphere and conquering and civilizing things. From the year 7/11. So we're not talking about Moorish Americans. We're talking about black men that are from the country of Morocco in Africa.
Well, as well as God, isn't it safe to say that the word Moor just referred to black people? That you had many groups of people who became identified as the Moors over different periods of time, like how you had
Yes,
the
God. Well,
you had the Berbers, and then you have.
Well, the reason why that's
Go
important to say is because you have to understand that in early European history in the Americas, Latin was the academic language, even in Europe. Latin was the academic language. Spanish came later, after Latin. But Latin is the language of doctors and scholars in early European society. And a lot of this language is the language that was used or when the Arabs came in and they were, deciphering the language, or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, pardon me.
You good.
You know, when they were making their translations, it was from Arabic into Latin.
Kick
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Please, God.
And so, in the academic world, I don't care where you were from. If you were of a dark hue, you were called a Moor.
Ooh.
So that's why a lot of times individuals that were called Moors by people that were speaking in the academic language of that time, which was Latin, it was normal to call anybody a Moor.
Right.
You know? So in the early days of Europe, or in the early days of Spain or whatever, all black people were called Moors. You know? Or you call it, at one particular time when the Moors were expelled and you had certain black people that were still in Europe and they were called Christians and they weren't Muslims, they called them blackamoors. You know? So Moor wasn't more or less of a definition of what land you were from, as they say it is today in America when you're dealing with like the Moral Science Temple of America, which I understand what they're dealing with, and they do have some validity in what it is they're saying. But however, I'm just speaking on how in that particular time, if you deal with readings and writings that you could talk about of different people or different Europeans that were speaking about black people that was all over the world, they was always calling them Moors at one particular time in history. I don't care what European you were talking about from what particular part of the land. When they were talking about black people, they called them Moors, and they weren't talking about the people that was from Morocco. They were talking about Ethiopians. They were talking about black people that they saw in India, wherever. They were Moors, Moriscos, Blackamoors, all different types of names.
Damn.
Because Moor identified an individual as being of a dark hue, which we call today as being black.
Right, and just to add with your point, God, is that, and basically the preface here is that when we study the development of mathematics and what we commonly know today as mathematics, and the very basis of the arithmetic system from one to 9, or in their case, because they deal with it 0. They put the 0 before the 1, right? In basic arithmetic.
Well, in basic arithmetic,
Yeah, in basic arithmetic.
It was always taught that, the cipher was a placeholder.
True.
Yeah.
No question. And what do you mean when you say that? That the cipher is a placeholder?
That you could take any one of the mathematics and you could add it to the cipher, and it would increase the value of it tenfold. That's the purpose of the cipher. It's a placeholder. So once you go from 1 to 9 and you want to elevate another level, then you add a cipher. That's the purpose of a cipher. It's a placeholder. It takes you to the next level. As long as you're dealing with mathematics and you're increasing. It can take you to the level beneath. If you're dealing with mathematics in the form of where you're taking away, and you're dealing with subtraction, you know, that's why we teach that the devil deal with subtraction and God deal with addition.
Peace.
You know, and division is nothing more than a lesser subtraction than multiplication. Or a lesser version of multiplication. Because multiplication is a higher version of addition, and division is a higher division of subtraction.
Peace, God. So, and just in going through that, God, I think it's a heavy science because, you know, I think what people get confused, and I think this is a good jewel that we're gonna play that video and just going through that cipher and alphabet for people that don't know our culture. A lot of times people think the cliches is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think it's easy for the cliche to get caught on by those who don't know, and I think that's why it's important that we have forums like this and we have platforms like this where we can talk about our culture and go through these things and go through these sciences to give a better understanding. You know, that's today's mathematics, understanding. So it's like the cipher and the alphabets and the cipher and the mathematics not the same thing. Right? Commonly, when you deal with the definition of a cipher is going to take you to CIPHER, right, which means void in Latin, or like a code, or, you know, something that's like a zero, that means, like you said, that means nothing.
There go that Latin.
Peace, God. Right. Peace, God. But like you said, the Latin came from the Sanskrit.
And the Latin is the academic language.
Yeah, peace, God.
You know what I'm saying? Latin is the academic language of Europe. All of the oldest, ancient, most sound knowledge of medical or medicinal knowledge was in Latin for the European world. And it was introduced by the Moors from Spain. This ain't nothing I'm making up. I mean, I only learned this shit. You could doubt me, but go and do the knowledge.
I'm telling you.
Find out where the Hippocratic Oath came from. And what it's founded in. And I think my man's name was, what was his name? Asclepius, Asclepius or some shit like that, you know. But back in Kemet, we called him Imhotep.
Well, God, real quick, man, cause we getting through here pretty quick, man. I wanna drop this video, man. Of the God, I know you. This is a request for this subject, man. And if anybody don't know, man, I had to throw the UV shades on, man. These screens be messing with my eyes. But for anybody who don't know, man, not only is you know, we here to introduce the people to the information, connect the people with the culture, connect individuals with the knowledge of self, and help individuals that's looking for the knowledge connect with our culture, connect with the gods on earth. But we want to introduce you to the God content. We want to introduce you to the earth content. We want to introduce you to some of those things that you may not get if you were not connected with 5%ers, if you were not connected with the true and living.
Connection.
And, you know, this is again, like the God said, this is the connection. We're here to connect you. We're not here to gossip. We're not here to, you know, give our personal opinions about other things.
Nobody.
We're not here to bash nobody. Like the Father said, we don't talk about nobody.
Nah, we here to teach.
We just here to teach. We just here to add on, man, to the culture and build, man.
Fuck my opinion. Fuck my opinion and what I think.
I'm done. Peace, God.
You know, unless somebody asks.
Go ahead.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, because it is valuable to me. It may not be valuable to you, but it's valuable to me. However, it's only valuable to me. And I think that's what everybody needs to understand. Your opinion and the way that you see things, it's only valuable to you.
Ooh.
Now, once you gain the gumption about yourself and gain the testicular fortitude to speak about what it is you need to speak about at the given time that it needs to be spoken about, then it may matter. But in layman terms, until you get the nuts about yourself to speak about what it is that needs to be spoken about at the proper time, I mean, you can't, you know.
Here go a question in here too, guys. So,
Okay.
If they said, can you draw up the science of today's degree in 1 to 14? Why do we let a half original man like Columbus discover the poor part of the planet Earth? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I mean, you let a half original man by the name of Columbus discover the poor part, because you have to understand that. Okay, when you deal with Columbus, you deal with him being a half original man. How was he able to get the knowledge that he was able to get? We got to go into the history of it. How was he able to get it? Because he was able to come amongst the original man, undetected. This is why we deal with examination. Examination is primary and nobody is above examination. This is just one way to draw off that degree. Understanding. Because to get understanding, you have to examine some things. And anybody that come amongst us, we examine. But he was able to come amongst us because we so caught up, well, not we, I'm going to say a lot of us, are so caught up in looking at or thinking that the white man is the devil that we forget to examine our own just as much as we would examine the white man that came amongst us. And what I mean by that is I'm saying examine everybody. Nobody is above examination. Musa was someone who examined individuals when they came amongst. That's why it said that Musa came with a tough love. Jesus came with a soft love. Jesus came with, a more soft understanding. Musa came with a hard understanding. When Musa came, he surrounded himself in a cipher of fire to protect himself because he knew the individuals that he was amongst. He had already learned in the histories that if he was to lead the people that he was striving to teach, they would turn around and resort to their filthy ways. So understanding was primary. There's certain teachings of when the Father taught certain individuals a science of understanding in regards to if you could kill every devil on the planet today, would you do it? And some individuals that didn't have understanding would say yes. And you had to understand that you would probably kill your mother, kill your father, kill individuals that you love. This is the science of understanding and having understanding. And if you had the power to do certain things without understanding, then you would make certain decisions that you will regret later. So this is, the power of having understanding. And this is the power of what Musa had and how he was teaching civilization, and the different things that came along with civilization.
Peace, God.
Peace.
So to add on what you got, and then after this we can go to the video. So just for me, man, how I see that degree, why did Musa have a hard time? So, well, no, pardon myself. Why did we let a half original man like Columbus discover the poor part of the planet Earth? For me, man, it's like Columbus was an explorer, right? Columbus was some individual that wanted to. These motherfucking glasses give me this. Columbus was somebody that wanted to kind of explore and like see his way. So to me, when I think about somebody that was a half original, or that's an individual that's got two separate thoughts on their mind. They half and half, meaning they mindset is split on things. They think in one way, but really got other thoughts. So for me, man, when I come across people who adventurous, who hard headed, who stiff necked, who want to listen, who say they want to listen but really want to go a different direction, it's like, I'm the original man. I'm the maker and the owner of the planet Earth, and I know every square inch of it. So being that I know the poor part, I know the things not to focus on, I know the things to focus on. So sometimes I feel like some people, you gotta let them discover the poor part. You gotta let them just stay on and go to the poor part, so they don't get over here messing with the best part. You know what I mean? And what'll happen most times is you'll find people over here who got sent over here too. So he said he found the Indians living here with exile from India 16,000 years ago. They were original people. It was a reason they got sent over here. You know what I mean? So I think it's the same kind of science, man. So for me, when if I meet a Christopher Columbus, I let him discover the poor. He can have the poor part. Cause we've been over there and it wasn't flying fresh and funky like it is over where we trying to be at. So that's how I see that degree, man. So if you got any other questions, we want to run this video for y'all. The guy was dropping a nice jewel about some of the same science that we building on. So I want to play this. See if I can catch the screen. I want to get this video up to God. Here I come. There we go. So this is a video, man, of, the great and legendary firstborn prince, man. Peace to the God. Peace to the great God. One of the firstborns of our nation, man, and it's a video from a civilization class out in Jersey, man, and the guy was dropping it. So, he was building about, this same subject that we going through about CIPHER and about understanding. Well, in this particular video, this was the Understanding CIPHER Day, but he was talking about the science of a cipher. And, me and IC thought it'd be real dope to drop this one, so we wanted to share this with y'all, man. So peace. Make sure you doing the knowledge. Get your pens and paper ready, man. The great firstborn prince, man. Peace.
One is O and the other is zero. There ain't nothing in a zero.
What's the difference, Doc?
One is O, which has a meaning. The O cipher can be a person, place, or thing. The zero cipher is nothing.
Oh, yo, man.
Zero has
Add on to the cipher.
okay. That's why when you knowledge cipher, wisdom cipher, understanding cipher,
What you put
that
as
don't
what
none
you
of that have no value neither.
understand add on to the cipher.
Because that's 10, 20, and 30, bro.
When you say the cipher don't have no value, when you knowledge cipher,
Hey, girl, why is it every time I say something, you got to come back and ask me what I said, and it's never what came out my mouth. So far, you haven't repeated nothing I said all night.
God, if I'm
And you come back and say, oh, what are you saying? So and so and so? No, I'm
yeah,
not saying
because
that.
I'm trying to.
I said the guy was going. Go ahead, God. Peace. So yeah, that was a good one. That was a good jewel. I know the guys kind of got into a little personal build.
What?
No. I was talking about the build in the video where Prince was kind of saying
What you
something to the
talking?
guy. No, because he kind of got through the point where he was talking about Cypher and the difference between Cypher and the Cypher and O and the Cypher and mathematics. So yeah, that was that one. That was that video. Now next up, man, we do got a musical piece, a musical request for the night, man, and we're gonna keep this thing rocking to take us home for the God and Earth Hour podcast, man. So next up, man, we got the great video from our Sun Tzu Cadre crew, man. Show some love to the gods and the earth, man. I got the gods from Sun Tzu Cadre, man, on the legendary track, man, Universal Architect. So we about to rock this one. This is a D Mecca classic, man. This was one that came from the requester. My co-host, me and my co-host right here, man. We had to pick the D Mecca classics, man. Y'all know how we do. So this is our musical joint for the night, man. Y'all know we like to bring some music in and introduce the people and introduce the people that's on the page and on the channel, man, to some of the music that we doing. Let's go. Peace.
Okay. That's how they want it. That's how they'll get it. I'm the doctor of all doctors, the universal architect. For my father and I are one the same. For my father-in-law said I cannot be his equal if I'm not qualified to pass the test of mankind. I must be 100% right and exact and all wise and righteous. Then I must be able to defeat any army in a matter of seconds. I must respect the laws of the government, for their laws are right and exact, for their laws are that which I made. You cannot go around me or through me to get to my father-in-law, for he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice, self-balanced scale, divine righteous judgment. Not be the black man time. Fuck if you trust us, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick, we tired of you filthy as lies. Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious, ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun Tzu sight, katana swore be my carver. I fast and meditate upon that ass like we're hard. Assimilate your fate, alarm the brigade. A large battalion, we cut your throat like spade. I'm Mr. Slate, you know I'm gonna get you sucker. We can do without the cussing, but you still's a motherfucker. You made we can wicked, grafted from the original. Had a hard time trying to civilize. About 3 years ago, I stay in the farm. But the farm stays in me, I am the farm. Cause you can trace the seed to me. As a man thinker, so is he. Her and I, give my life so you can never die. Build with the civilized, upright, righteous, all in all, and the most high. Head be supreme, dome you can penetrate. But the blood sucking through his heart, I ran the state. Die like a man, fall like one of the princes. Killed me in the past, took away all my sins. My sheep hear me and come to fences. So how I twist, come on, set the alarm off. Change the statistics. Eat my beans with biscuits. You love my charm as a savage. Robberies, I'm a tissue body wrong. What happened is already gone. I stay calm. The Antichrist already born. A new dawn. They say that God is a spawn. Word is bond.
Peace. Yo, much love, peace to the gods, the Sun Tzu Cadre crew, man. I know I had to show some love to my man's God Allah, my man Resurrector. Peace to the gods. Peace to the great ones out there, man. Y'all know we coming in live. All D Mecca is definitely in the house, man. So we had a little clip from the great Firstborn Prince. We had the guys, the Sun Tzu Cadre crew in the building, man. We've been talking about the history of math, the science of the cipher, how a cipher, is a placeholder, how it represents, nothing. And once you take something knowledge from born, then we can get a cipher to represent the O and represent the nothing. The difference between the cipher and the mathematics, the difference in the cipher and the alphabets. We went through the history about Sanskrit, about where the zero comes from, the history of mathematics from Latin. The guy was talking about Greek and the history of the languages. We've been going through it tonight, man. So listen, if you haven't caught the full episode, if you just getting in late, man, make sure that you following us on YouTube and on Facebook, man. If you want to listen to the full audio, make sure you following us on Spotify and all places where you can catch a podcast, because y'all know we coming in live. Y'all know how we do. So make sure y'all with us on Friday. We're going to have an even more ramped up episode, man. We might have a guest, we might not, but it's definitely going to be live. IC got a presentation in mind, so we're going to be looking dope. Got anything you want to lead everybody?
I just want to say, y'all you sit back and y'all do the knowledge, and if anything that I said can be questioned, or you can, combat that, refute that, debunk that, whatever you want to say it, I just want to hear y'all say it, because I don't, I look for correction, because I want to be right and exact in everything I do and everything I say. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all out there, as our listening audience, as our supporters, that, take what it is we say and go and do the knowledge to it. And, you ain't got to come and try to refute us. Come and support us. But let's get that interaction thing going. Because I want to hear back from you. Because I want to be challenged.
As well as, man, if you got questions, drop them. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no question.
If you got questions, drop your questions. As well as for anybody that may be tuning in, if you coming on the channel, if you learning something and you like, yo, this is dope, man. These brothers got some knowledge on a lot of things in the science of life, and you ready to learn and you ready to get connected with the guys in your respective area, your city, your place, go to the 5percentconnection.com. It's the link at the top of this video, man. Put your information in, your name, your phone number, email address, and city, man, and we're going to do our best to get you connected with the gods and the earths closest to you, man, so you can start walking and talking and getting this knowledge, man. So look, man, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We about to tap out, man, and greet y'all in the same way and lead y'all in the same way that we greeted y'all, man. That's in the supreme universal greeting of peace.